I don't know if you've noticed this, but the way people are building wealth right now is changing. It's not just about getting a high-paying job or grinding it out in the corporate world anymore. More and more people, especially women, are making really good money in ways that don't follow the traditional path. They're working for themselves, they're doing creative work, they're building an income online, they're getting paid for who they are and how they think, not just how many hours they work. And the old approach where you trade your time, climb a ladder, burn out, and wait for retirement is starting to feel a little outdated. There is a new paradigm of wealth emerging, and that is the feminine way to make money. And before you roll your eyes, no, this isn't just taking bubble baths and doing vision boards. This is real, this is strategic, this is practical, this is actionable. So whether you want more freedom, more income, or just a smarter, more feminine aligned way of doing things and making money, this is where it all starts. So let's get into it. Hey friend, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Jillz and I help women step into their power, tap into their divine feminine, and become their best self, live their best life. So if that's something you want to do, you should subscribe and stick around. The world is shifting to a new paradigm, one that aligns with feminine energy, authenticity, and freedom, and the world of wealth building is evolving with it. If you take a step back and look around, things are shifting. I mean, even just look at social media, for example. Social media is dominated by women, not just as influencers, but also just in the industry in general. It's one of the few industries where you can literally start from zero, build something real, and turn it into serious income in just a few years. So many women are making a ton of money just by being themselves, showing their lives, showing them making a matcha, right? Now, this video is not saying that you need to be an influencer, but my point is that times are changing. Women are making more money than ever, and the way these women are making money is by doing things differently. The old masculine approach to making money is not dead, but it's no longer the only path to success. If you want to build wealth, make an impact, and feel good while doing it, there is a new way, a feminine way, a better way. So in this video, here's what we're gonna cover. So first, we're gonna talk about what is holding so many women back. Second, we'll talk about the secret to gaining wealth quickly in today's world. And third, we'll talk about the 4-part feminine wealth blueprint. And lastly, number 4, I'll talk about some really practical money/business tips for getting started. So you might want to get out your notepad and a pen and let's get into it. So before we really dive into the whole meat and potatoes of it all, so many women are holding themselves back from the money and wealth they deserve, not because they're not smart and capable, but because money and business feels weird to them. Listen to this. Did you know that women couldn't even open their own bank accounts in the US without a man's permission until 1974. That was only 50 years ago. Think about that for a second. Only in the last few decades have we been given the legal power to handle our finances independently. There are very real generational wounds that we're dealing with, and we're still trying to find our place in this world. But the truth is that so many women still feel uncomfy with having a business or making good money. They don't feel qualified for it. They're afraid of being seen. They don't believe in their value, or they think they have to suffer and struggle to make money. I mean, there is a whole identity shift that has to happen. I never felt good enough or ready enough or smart enough or skilled enough to have my own business and make my own money on my own terms until it started to happen. And so my point though is that if you truly want to build wealth, it's time to move on. Those thoughts, beliefs, identities are keeping you broke. You have to let them go. Even the ones that might have just been passed down from the generation before. The only way to start building your income is to first get out of your own way. There is no path to building wealth until you let all that go and get out of your own way. But if you're willing to do things differently and take action on everything I'm about to share, then you'll be a part of this new wave of women building wealth the feminine way. Okay, so let's get into it. One of the biggest secrets to building wealth the new way is visibility. Now, of course, visibility has always been important, but here's the thing that you need to realize. The barrier to entry for visibility has never been lower. It has never been easier to become visible. Just 10 to 15 years ago, getting noticed meant relying on the traditional routes, right? Networking, referrals, being in the right place at the right time. But today, the game has changed. You've got social media, podcasts, YouTube, blogs, newsletters, and the list goes on. Now you can build a whole business from your living room, but the catch is that you have to be seen, or at least your product or your service has to be seen. It doesn't have to be a personal brand, but the path to quantum leaping your business and your income is visibility. It always has been. That's why companies used to pay tons of money to get their ads in newspapers. It's just that now with the internet and social media, visibility has never been easier, and some people are taking advantage of it. So this doesn't have to mean social media, but yes, the digital world can easily amplify your visibility and your income. I can post a video, and for the next year or two, that video can be working for me. It can be helping me reach new people. It can be helping me make an impact. It can be helping me build income. The internet makes it so that I can reach a massive amount of people in my home with my dog. Think about if you post something like a YouTube video or an Instagram reel or something and it gets 1,000 views. That might seem small when you see other people getting like 1 million views, but this is 1,000 people, and this is 10,000, and this is 20,000. Think about that. That's like you getting on stage in front of all of these people. And when I go to sleep at night, my business is still working for me. My videos are reaching new people. I'm still growing my audience and making sales and continuing to help people while I sleep. So the digital world makes it so that your visibility doesn't stop at 5 p.m. when you're done working for the day. Now again, this doesn't mean that you have to get on social media if that's just not what you want to do, but YouTube has changed my life, and that is why I created the YouTube Growth Masterclass. It is now out. It is available today. Basically, it's just like a no fluff masterclass of everything that I've learned over the past 4.5 years of building my channel. So it's just giving you what you need to know, really practical, tangible lessons to build your channel and build a business and an income if that's what you want to do. So it is available, and if you want to learn a little bit more about that and get a little bit more detail about what's included in all of that, the link for that is down below. However, if you do not want to do social media, that would mean getting yourself out there, going to networking events, going to conferences, speaking on panels. But again, if you're already speaking on panels, you might as well just put that info on the internet. Visibility is the new leverage. It is the new currency. It's how you amplify your business, your impact, and your income, and how your business starts working for you. It's working smarter, not harder, and that's feminine energy. And here's the other thing. When you are visible, you don't have to chase down opportunities. You start attracting them in. That is feminine energy. When you show up online, if that's what you choose to do, you get to do it on your own terms, in your own vibe, doing things your way, right? In my house, with my pink lights, with my dog, waking up at 8:30 a.m., not 5 a.m. That's feminine energy. Visibility also establishes you as an authority, and it helps you build trust with people really quickly. And if you know anything about money and business, you know that trust is the foundation of everything. So visibility is not optional anymore. It is how the new money is being made. And the women who understand that, they're the ones winning. So now that we're clear on what's keeping women stuck and why visibility is the real starting point for building wealth in this new economy, let's get into what to actually do about it. Here is the 4-part feminine wealth framework that I put together to help you make more money and build more wealth in a way that actually aligns more with your natural feminine way of doing things, and in a way that won't burn you out. Part 1 of the feminine wealth framework is to align with your genius. Now don't worry, you don't have to be a genius like Einstein. You don't have to be a scientist or a tech guru to make a bunch of money. What I'm talking about is tapping into your personal genius. Those things that come naturally to you, that you're good at, that feel effortless. Here's the thing though, because it's your genius, it's often overlooked by you because it feels so natural to you. You might think that this is nothing special, everyone can do this. But the truth is that everybody can't. The things that come most naturally to you are often the very things that will make you the most money and create the biggest impact. Let's take an example. Let's say that you are an artist, you are creative, that is your genius. Okay, well, if you show up your whole life trying to be the best accountant possible, you're probably still gonna do fine, but you're also probably not gonna reach those higher levels of accountancy success. And you're gonna get drained so much quicker doing that daily accountant work because you're working every single day outside of your zone of genius. But if you recognized your genius as an artist and a creative, and you just leaned into it and owned it, that work is gonna feel so much more effortless and natural, and you will go so much farther in life in the long run. For example, if Einstein had tried to force himself to be a poet instead of a scientist, he wouldn't have made the impact that he did. Same goes for you. If you try to work against your natural strengths, you are limiting yourself. Building wealth the feminine way is not just asking, how do I make money? But it's asking, what am I good at? What comes natural to me? What comes easy to me? What feels fun to me? And how can I go do that? How can I provide value and be rewarded for that? You might be sitting there thinking, but I'm not good at anything. But I promise you, you are. Whether you recognize it or not, there is something that you do better than others. And it doesn't have to be this super specific skill. Maybe you're a connector. You're really good at making people feel seen and heard. Maybe you're a creative who has an eye for design. Or maybe like me, you're really good at taking complex information and making it super simple for other people to understand. If you don't know what you are naturally good at, then I highly recommend you do this exercise. So all of the people that you know in your life that know you super well and that you trust, like your mom, your sister, your best friend, your partner, and ask them this question: what do you think I am naturally good at? What comes easy to me? And listen carefully to their responses. Often our genius comes so natural to us that we don't notice it. For me, I love learning new things, especially learning new things relating to like human behavior and psychology. That's my fave. And explaining them in a way that makes sense to people. I love doing that. I mean, I have other skills than that too, but that's one of them. It feels natural and effortless to me. And sometimes when I do research for the videos that I want to do, sometimes I literally feel like I'm on drugs because I get such a high from it. Here's another perfect example. Influencers. There are so many girls out there who are making millions just because they know how to put together a cute outfit and how to find the best deals on clothes each season, and they snap a little mirror pic. That's their genius. Simple, right? But if most men tried to do that, they would utterly fail. This is a prime example that your genius doesn't have to be world-changing. It just has to be authentic to you. Building wealth the feminine way means making money in alignment with who you are. Okay, you got that? When you act in alignment with who you are, everything becomes effortless and you start getting paid by being yourself. So tap into that zone of genius, own it, pursue it, and stop doubting your worth. This part of the framework is about giving yourself permission to be who you truly are instead of trying to fit a mold of who you think you should be. It's about leaning into the things that make you feel alive, even if they seem simple to you. Those are the things that can make you the most money and create the biggest impact. Now, part 2 of the feminine wealth framework is to serve before selling, right? Okay, think about the energy in which you're approaching business and making money. Instead of how can I take, it's how can I serve? How can I help people? How can I solve a problem? How can I make someone's life easier today? And when you start asking this question specifically, not how can I make money, but how can I serve? You move away from chasing and hustling, and instead you start creating value in a way that feels aligned and authentic, and most importantly, sustainable to you. That doesn't mean that you have to have the perfect product or the perfect sales pitch, but think about it. Can you help someone figure out a problem that they're probably Googling at 2 a.m.? Can you break down something super complicated and make it easier for someone to understand? Can you share a tip or a resource that can make someone's day just a little bit better? If you said yes to any of that, then you're ready to start building your business. Or let's take a simple example. Let's say that you want to be a fitness coach, that you just love that stuff. If you come at people immediately with like, buy my $1,000 program right out of the gate, most people are probably going to hesitate. But if you show up on social media first, offering valuable fitness tips and free mini workouts or fun little motivational content, you start building a relationship with your audience. You're showing them that you care about helping them. And what's one of the most important things when it comes to building your business and eventually making sales? Trust. And when you serve before trying to take, you create that trust. Now, when you do eventually offer your program, people are much more likely to want to buy from you because they've already developed a relationship with you. They trust you. You've served them before they've even asked for anything. And this doesn't just apply to like coaches or creators either. Whether you are running a business or like creating an actual product, this principle still applies. Let's say that you want to make a planner business. Instead of only focusing on how can I get the next sale, think about how can I really add value? How can your planner truly make people's lives better? How can you show up and add value before even anyone buys? Maybe it's sharing free tips on productivity or offering insights on how to stay organized or sharing tips for staying focused. You don't need the perfect sales pitch right away. Focus on service and the sales will follow. This is the natural feminine way of doing things. Less transactional, more relational. Hustle culture teaches us to push, force, strive, chase, but the feminine way teaches us to be, to show up, to serve, to attract, to trust that when we focus on helping others, the impact and income will follow. It's an abundant flowing energy instead of one of scarcity and competition. Money flows naturally when you focus on serving others. When you focus not on what can I take, but how can I add value? How can I give? How can I make someone's life better, easier? This is the new paradigm of wealth. It's not just about money. Serve first, and the universe will make sure that you are provided for. Now, next, the traditional approach to making money glorifies suffering, if you haven't noticed. Hustle harder, sacrifice more, sleep on a mattress on the floor and eat ramen every single day until you burn out. That is the way to build real wealth. But that is not the feminine way to make money. That is not the way of the woman. So part 3 of the feminine wealth framework is to take care of yourself. You do not need to suffer and sacrifice and stress in order to hopefully one day make good money. That is not how the feminine operates, okay? I want you to think about it differently. The feminine works by attracting in, not chasing, right? But in order to attract in, our energy needs to be on point. We need to take care of ourselves. We need nourishment and rest. We need to make sure that we are in energetic alignment with our higher selves. You don't always need to work more to make more. Now, I'm not saying that you won't ever have to make any short-term sacrifices. There probably will be some short-term sacrifices, key short-term. But making money is not just about hard work. If it were, there would be a lot more wealthier people on this planet. There are plenty of people working their butts off and still struggling. But think about this. If you are living in a chronic state of stress and scarcity and nervous system dysregulation, and you're always tired, you won't be able to provide value. You won't be able to create. You won't be able to attract in opportunities. You won't be able to bring your best foot forward, and you won't be able to align with that version of yourself that you are trying to become. This only comes from nourishment, rest, and being attuned to your needs. I want you to think about it differently. Think about this analogy. Think about the mother in a household. The mother really sets the tone for the home and the family. Energetically, I mean. She sets the tone. The father more so provides that stability and that practicality and that foundation, but the mother really sets the energetic tone. That's why people say like the mother is the heart of the home. But if that mother is completely sleep deprived, she hasn't seen her friends in months, and she hasn't gotten a haircut in years. Basically, she hasn't been able to properly nourish herself. How do you think she is going to show up for her family? What energy is she going to bring to the family? It probably won't be great. As a woman, it's so important for us to take care of ourselves because our energy dictates the reality that we start to experience and the opportunities we start to attract in. And as women, we set the energetic tone for the environments that we're in. And also, this is just biology, okay? Men are naturally more stress resilient than women. And this is, we are not weaker than men or anything. It's just, this is just the biological facts. We have our cycles and our hormones are changing. We are naturally more sensitive to stress. We don't get the same benefit when we put ourselves under stress like men do, okay? We do things differently. We do things by taking care of ourselves first and nourishing ourselves first, so then we can show up in the energy that we want to be in, because then we can give. And this is the thing when building a business that you need to understand. This isn't the corporate world. Nobody cares how many hours you work. Nobody cares when you work or how you work. All that matters is the value you bring. It doesn't matter if that thing took 1 hour of your time or 1 year of your time. Nobody cares. People are not paying for your time. They are paying for the transformation or the benefit that they are receiving. Even if you do want to be a coach, for example, and have hourly sessions and work with people that way, they aren't going to you just so they can get 1 hour of your time. They're going to you because they want the transformation that they think you can provide. But again, in order to provide that value, you have to make sure you have the energy to give. The feminine needs nourishment and care. That is how we thrive. The feminine needs safety and nervous system regulation. That is how we thrive. That is how we create. That is how we make money. That is how we add value. That is how we're then able to nourish others. That is how we then use our intuition to shortcut success. The women who are creating sustainable wealth know this. Rest and nourishment are an essential part of the process. They know that that rest is part of what makes their success sustainable. And lastly, the final part of the feminine wealth framework is to show up, take action, and be seen. This is the part that most people want to skip. Actually doing the thing. Whether you're building your own business or freelancing or just testing out a creative idea, money flows where momentum goes. So you need to move from planning into practice. And look, I love a good journaling session. I love a good vision board. I love repeating, I am abundant to myself in the mirror in the morning. But if you're just talking about your dream business, your dream income, your dream lifestyle, and not actually moving toward it, then nothing's gonna change. At some point, you have to stop thinking about it and actually do it. You have to let yourself be seen. You have to put yourself out there and see what works. You need to be okay with not knowing what you're doing and just doing it anyway. And you have to put action behind that vision. So let me say this clearly. Talking about your dream is not the same thing as building it. Planning your content is not the same thing as posting it. Saying you want abundance isn't actually the same thing as creating an offer or a product or a service so that people can buy. And the difference between women who stay stuck and women who start building wealth is that one of them starts executing and showing up. And here's the thing, you can have the best product or the best service or whatever in the world, or the most interesting creative ideas or the most helpful pieces of advice, but if nobody knows about it, if nobody hears it, it doesn't matter. You're not gonna get anywhere. You're not gonna make any money. So show up, take action, and be seen. Get visible. So this might mean creating the offer, writing the post, and publishing it. Or telling people what you do and just owning it, even if you feel nervous or you feel like a total imposter. Or posting the YouTube video, even if it's not your best one. Or sending the email, booking the meeting, publishing the listing, telling people how you can help them. So get out of your own way, take action, and start being seen, because nothing happens until you do. Okay, so let's recap. We've talked through the 4 parts of the feminine wealth framework. 1, align with your genius. 2, serve before selling. 3, take care of yourself. And 4, show up and be seen. But now let's bring it down to earth even more and make it even more practical. So if you've been nodding your head and like, oh, okay, yes, that sounds good, but you're like, what do I do though? What now? Here's your now what. So these are 5 practical steps that you can take to start actually applying the feminine wealth framework, no matter what your path looks like. So tip number 1, you will not make money until you create a way for people to pay you. Simple as that. If you want to bring money into your life, you need to create an easy channel for the universe to bring abundance into your life. And how do you do that? By creating an offer. Now, an offer is just something that people can say yes to. It's how you get paid for the value that you are putting out to the world. Whether it's a service you provide, or a product you create, or a skill that you freelance, like copywriting or web design, or a virtual interior design consultant, or whatever you're good at. You need to open up a channel to give value and receive abundance in return. For me, this started as just starting a YouTube channel, offering value, and eventually receiving AdSense, Google AdSense in return. Your offer doesn't have to be perfect or complicated. It just has to be something that is simple, clear, and that people can say yes to. This is how your zone of genius becomes monetizable and how things get started. Now, next, you know how important it is to be visible, right? This is the new paradigm of wealth. It is the new way to make money. So practical tip number 2 is to pick your visibility channel. Now, here's the thing, you don't need to be everywhere. You don't need to be on every single social media platform and trying to spread yourself thin. Focus on the one visibility channel that works for you, the one that feels natural and exciting. Maybe it's YouTube if you love long form content and connecting with people through video. Or maybe you're a writer and so you feel drawn to Substack. Or you love TikTok because you love the idea of little bite-sized moments. Or maybe you love in-person connection and so you show up to networking events and conferences and you plan little new work lunch dates every Friday. The key is choosing one channel to focus on first. That's it, just one. And commit to showing up consistently, providing value and building relationships there. The reason I was able to grow my YouTube channel is because I decided that I wasn't gonna put my energy into Instagram and TikTok and Twitter or X, whatever it's called, or all these other random platforms. I decided I was 100% focused on YouTube. And when you focus on one visibility channel, that is how you start building real momentum. And also that's how you limit overwhelm. YouTube is a great long-term strategy for building trust and authority in your niche. If you're interested in that, my YouTube Growth Masterclass is linked down below. Now, tip number 3, in that visibility channel, whichever one you pick, focus on connection, not just conversion and making sales, but connection. Because remember, the feminine is relationship oriented. You don't need to be perfect to be visible. You don't have to try to sound like this perfect, polished brand and know everything and you are this absolute, guru in whatever you do. Just speak like a human, build real connection, provide real genuine value. That's how people start getting to know you. That's how people start trusting you. And trust is what leads to connection, to community, and then eventually to sales and referrals and real results. But that connection is the foundation. And next, when you're starting this journey of making money, one of the smartest things that you can do is to keep it simple. You don't need a 12-step funnel and spend all this money on advertising and have 20 different offers and products. So tip number 4 is to keep your business or your path to income simple, structured, and sustainable. Look, I know a lot of wealthy people have multiple streams of income. Almost all of them do, right? But they don't start there. They build up to that. You make money by simplifying and getting really good at one thing, or having one good offer first, or one good income stream first before you move on to the next. You don't do it all at once. So here's what you really need. One offer that aligns with your genius. And remember, this can be broad. This is just anything that people can say yes to. One way for people to buy or book, aka how are they going to pay for that offer? And lastly, one way to stay visible consistently. So what is your visibility channel? This applies whether you are freelancing or you're building a personal brand type of business, or you're creating a product, or you just want a little bit of extra income. Keeping things simple and structured help you show up with more clarity and confidence. And when everything is just like overwhelming, you often end up procrastinating or burning yourself out. Just to give you an example, remember, I started just with YouTube videos first. That's it. That was my first stream of income, YouTube's ads, like Google AdSense. And YouTube allowed me to share my offer, which were my videos. And the payment for that was all done through YouTube, right? Like I don't get to pick. That was all done through YouTube. And it also helped me stay visible. That was my visibility channel. So YouTube did all of this for me at first, and I kept it simple. Now I obviously have more than just AdSense as income. I also have sponsorships and courses and masterclasses and digital products and such. But it started with one income stream first and really getting that down until I moved on to adding others. Instead of jumping from idea to idea or chasing every little shiny object, focus on one offer, make it work, and master it. Remember, simple, structured, sustainable. That's how money can find you. You need to create a channel for abundance to flow into your life. And lastly, tip number 5 is to price your offer based off of value, not fear. So when you get to decide the price for your offer, because for like example, a YouTube video or getting paid through the TikTok Creator Fund, you don't get say in that, they decide that for you. But when you have offers that are fully yours, priced based off value, not fear. Remember, you are not charging for your time. You are charging for your expertise, your energy, and the transformation you provide, aka just the value and benefit that you bring into their life. It's never about the actual product or service. It's about the value or the benefits or the transformation that that person receives from that product or service. So when pricing, ask yourself, what is the value my product or service creates for my customers? And what is the transformation that they have? And think about it. What would you charge if you weren't scared? What would you ask for if you fully trusted your value? Stop undercharging to avoid discomfort. Price it what you genuinely think it's worth. When you respect your value, others will too. This was a long video. I hope that you got value from this video. If you want YouTube to be your visibility channel, that is something that you want to start or something that you just want to get better at and grow more on, then I highly recommend you check out the YouTube Growth Masterclass. It's linked down below, down there. I give all of my best tips, all of my strategy. I break down why some videos perform well, the psychology behind it, and I even give a little bit of insight into how you can make money on YouTube and what that income looks like for me. If you stayed until the very end, first of all, thank you so much. I'm grateful for you. But if you stayed until the very end, leave your favorite green emoji in the comments below so I know. Green for cash money. Now lastly, if you did enjoy this video, I have this video here, how to build your dream business in your feminine energy. So if you want to go a little bit more on the topic, there you go. So I will see you over here, or I'll just see you next time in my next video. Bye.